Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning, whatever time you're listening to this podcast. And this is part three of my series called 2023 A Year in Review. And I'll be discussing today taking one step at a time, taking one step at a time. And what I mean by that is, as you go into the new year, so often people have these wonderful goals, and I think it's great. To even have a goal, some people don't have any. And so to even think, okay, this is something new that I want to do, I want to implement this, it's just great. But I've learned that taking bite-size endeavors, whatever they may be, whether that's getting your finances together or maybe just being healthy in your eating habits, um, turning on your notifications, by a certain time or turning them off. That's something that I implemented months ago. I like my peace. I enjoy not being overwhelmed. And so at a certain time, I turn off all of my notifications. I've only been on social media 2 years. And when I tell people that, they're shocked. It's just because I had no need to, in the nature of my job is just people would try to find me for whatever reason, and it wasn't just was a safety issue. And for the most part, it was my best practice not to be on social media. So I've only been on social media for 2 years. And with that being said, I knew that I wanted to have boundaries. The boundaries were not only to keep me in, but to keep some people out. Sometimes people are still growing, they're still developing in whatever area of life they're in at the time. And I wanted to be healthy. I My mental health means a great deal to me. My sanity. I know that might sound funny to some, like mine does too. Some people enjoy trauma and um, drama for the most part. I try to always, you know, uh, meet people where they are, but sometimes they're still growing, and I can't stop my growth and meet them. I need to just keep going. I could stop and speak. I call it the small town syndrome, and what I mean by that is I've noticed in smaller towns when I've visited, they have maybe one or two stop lights or stop signs. Some of them have no stop lights, so people just kind of keep going, and everybody knows when you get to that certain street, you can just keep going. Nobody's ever there to stop you. You can just keep going. And sometimes people have to be that way in your life. You just see them and you keep going, not to be rude, but for you to keep growing, for you to be your best self, you have to keep going. You can't entertain certain behaviors or certain attitudes. People with poor mindsets, and what I mean by poor mindsets, people, if you're constantly negative, and what I mean by negative, every day is a bad day. That's too negative for me. For where I want to go and how I want to be healthy in my mind, if you're negative every single day, if every single day you're having difficulties, what I call trauma and drama, every single day, you're not the person that I want to stop and have a conversation with, because I understand that that would contaminate where I want to go. I want to take one step at a time in my mental health. That's something I'm very intentional about every single day. And if you say, well, Sanetta, how long did it take you to get there? Did you get there overnight? No, I wouldn't want you to think that I got there overnight, but it's taken me some time to get here to that place, and I guard it. I intentionally guard that. I've always been the kind of person that looked at the glass as being half full. I've always just, knew that there was a silver lining in any situation, even if it wasn't the most pleasant. So it didn't take me very long to get there. But now that I've arrived at a place where there is peace, and I can't say that happens every day, that would not be forthright. But I can say that most of my days, I don't have days of a lot of disruption. I intentionally make it. my mission every day. If I need to do something, I get up a little bit earlier. If I need to adjust my schedule, I try to do that. And if days go a different way and I'm not able to do that, I know that I put myself in a position that it's not too terribly painful or stressful because I don't normally have those days. And if you think about where you want to go and taking that one step, don't create these big lofty goals of I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to turn my notifications off. You'll overwhelm yourself. If you start even thinking about all the things you want to change, the new year is really more for you than anything external, anything outside of you. It's about decreasing your stress, making you feel um the best that you can feel in the situation. Some people are in a different place that they may be changing jobs at the new year. They may be taking care of a loved one in the caregiver season, not just with children, but also with parents. So everybody's not in the same place to implement some of the things that I might be saying. If you're in a caregiver season, taking care of parents or taking care of a loved one, just having somebody come in to help you is decreasing your stress. You have to look at what works for you and say, for me, somebody going to the grocery store for me, or coming in helping me clean because I'm not able to clean the house, or um, you know, get the laundry because I'm so busy taking care of my loved one. Or sometimes we have a child that has special needs. People often forget those are different types of caregivers. But whatever season you're in, just reflect on what works for you. And just, I call it a bite size, but look at that one step that you can take to decrease your stress, to say, for me in the new year, I'm going to have somebody come in once a week to help me with cleaning. You don't even have to be a caregiver to do that. I mean, I think it's great if you could just do it if you want to. I think that's great too, you know. Or, I'm not going to spend as much. Everybody is in a different place. And if you remember on the first podcast, I talked about us being different, us being unique. Everybody's in a different place. That's what makes us, that different kind of beauty. That's what I call it. We all have a different kind of beauty. And what my beauty recommends for me is decreasing my stress. I feel better because I am not overwhelmed. For the next person, it doesn't bother them if they have a lot going on, juggling balls. So for them, having a to-do list might be better for them. You have to reflect on where you are, what you want to achieve, and what does it take you to get there. Those are just a few things that you can implement as you look at, your year in review. Did it work last year? Or did you even implement anything? So for some people, it's just another day. They don't want to implement anything. That might overwhelm them. Then that's what they need to do. The podcast is really just to stir the conversation, to make sure that it's available if you need it. Uh, and this is something that I decided to do a series. And the year in review is very short. It won't be but a three-part series. But the next series that I've already begun, um, just, brainstorming on is Life 101, talking about the environments that we come from and how those can impact our life in everyday life. So that series will start next week, and it'll probably go 3 days a week for the first month anyway. Life 101, that will be the next podcast series. So, with that being said, I just want to say I hope you all have a wonderful new year. So, when you get this one, it will already be maybe 2024 or just on the eve of 2024. I pray that you and your families are safe. I pray that whatever you decide to do, whether that's big or small, that you do it for yourself. Do the thing that brings you the most peace, the most joy, so that you can be your very best self in 2024. And I just want to say thank you, and you all have a great day.